And of course, many of us haven't stepped foot in a movie theater for over a year.
And with some of the year's biggest movies getting released on streaming services, didn't even have to leave your couch to watch them. So will movie theaters be able to rebound as more vaccines go out?
Well, tonight, Denver 7's Russell Haythorne is going 360 on the future of film.
Perhaps this is a place you haven't been to in a while, but the movies are back. Now the entertainment industry is wondering, will you come back? Oh, shh, it's starting. So let's go 360. There's no better way for movie buffs to dust off their old movie-going habits than by catching an iconic giant ape and a classic Japanese sea monster battle it out on the big screen.
Godzilla vs. Kong.
I love going to the movie theaters, to be honest.
After months of on-again, off-again openings and closings, theaters appear to be making a comeback. But has the pandemic been a showstopper?
I didn't like going to the movies anyways.
And has a boom in streaming services changed how we watch movies for good? We'll hear from fans of the movies, explore the attack of streaming, talk to a wolf of retail about the economics of theaters closing and reopening. And we start with the psychology of the return of the theater and whether we should or we shouldn't go back.
It's been a year of loss. We've lost individuals, we've lost milestones, celebrations, and our movies. We have a lot of great blockbusters that were delayed last year that are coming out this summer, and even I'm questioning whether or not we go back.
April Alexander is an associate psychology professor at DU and says the movies offer an escape.
It's part of our self-care. It's the way we relax. It's the way that we tune out of the world.
Which is why the future of the theater might be brighter than it appears.
We as consumers crave the ability to be able to get out of our homes and get back into some sense of normalcy.
John Wissiger with CBRE is the retail broker of the year for the Denver Metro Commercial Association of Realtors. He says looking at current projections, theaters should see 80% of their normal volume coming back by the end of this year.
The release of new blockbuster films from Hollywood, that will really be the catalyst to help get some of these theaters off the ground.
He says despite a tough year, theaters are still a great anchor for retail space, especially theaters with new amenities.
Bigger seats, dinner drinks, that has really helped the theater industry.
A new AMC theater just opened off Colorado Boulevard, and even some of those in distress seem to be rebounding. Alamo Drafthouse filed for bankruptcy, but the company isn't shutting down. They say they're restructuring, and at the Sloan's Lake location, for example, they're now operating 5 days a week and adding staff daily.
We're seeing traffic numbers actually really improving in the retail sector.
Of course, there's certainly no question. Streaming services are stealing the show right now.
That, to me, I think is probably the future.
Dan Kernis is a media analyst with the Benchmark Company and says streaming, both movies and TV series, are experiencing phenomenal growth as the pandemic has changed entertainment behaviors. Hollywood has taken note with more direct-to-streaming versus theater releases.
I'm sure that we're going to have a loss of exclusivity in a way. You know, maybe they still get some first-run stuff, especially for the blockbuster hits, but anything beyond that, I expect to see a lot of direct-to-streaming or co-pro with the theater, have it in the theater at the same time as streaming.
According to the research firm Conviva, our collective appetite for streaming has skyrocketed. Worldwide, viewing time grew by 44% in the last quarter of 2020.
We've got Disney Plus, we've got Netflix, we've got Amazon Prime.
Amazon and Netflix.
And yet,
You need the sound effects from the surround sound, and then the big screen obviously makes it better, so you feel like you're part of the movie.
You can imagine why I've come back to play.
But at the end of the day, people love their entertainment, right? To say that this is the death of the movie theater, absolutely not.
for many theater fans, it's all about what's playing. Is it a star-studded release or a big fat dud?
I'd go back, but I think it's more of like the lineup of movies right now, not necessarily like the safety of COVID.
As long as there's good movies and stuff coming out.
Most seem to agree the spotlight is big enough for both streaming and the return of the theater.
Just grabbing that hot popcorn and getting your favorite candy and just sitting down enjoying a good movie and escaping from reality.
Russell Haythorne,
I do miss that.
Denver 7.